welcome to the Hive. We've been here hiving it up.
Welcome. There we go. See, I was unprepared.
Do you have any applause? Thank you. We are excited to be here today because that's right. We are joined by our good friend Brendon, who is here with us.
Yes.
Round of applause for Brendon.
Round of applause.
I think he deserves it. Or trumpet
royal
sound.
Horn.
The
it's
royal
the Queen's
horn.
Royal Horn.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. I like it.
Yes, sir. I like it. You get the royal treatment when you come around here.
Yes, sir. I like it.
So we are going to try something new today.
Pretending there's a whole lot of people watching?
Yay! Okay, you know what? High five to me too.
Yes.
On the back. Okay.
High five to Brendon.
High five to Brendon.
High five.
That's right.
High five. Very nice. Oh,
Very nice.
That's one of my impersonations. I can do both.
Ooh, okay.
Pretty
I
good.
gotta hear it.
Hello, my friends. How are you?
Oh, that's good.
Good.
That's good. You almost kind of sound like, what's his name from Ukraine? The president of Ukraine.
Vladimir Putin.
Yes,
you know,
Vladimir Putin.
He's a very bad guy. You know what I mean? I very much not like him. His suit is not black. I tell you, his suit is not black.
No, sir. I didn't like it.
It is
That's
red.
really good.
Like communist red.
That's really, really good.
So that was my entire senior year of high school.
Yeah, I can
was
tell.
talking like
I can tell. Well, see, with me, that was Beavis and Butthead. So that's why I got really good at that. And then I figured out that the same guy was the dude that did King of the Hill. And so I wouldn't quit until I nailed King of the Hill. I just kept going.
Inspiration does strange things to people.
Yes, I was inspired by such great people.
I'd be sitting in history class and I'd be like, you know, the answer is 1776. You know, that is when the revolution happened. Yes.
And the teachers love that, right?
No. Everybody else did though.
Oh, I bet. But you probably did well enough in school, didn't I?
Sure.
Okay. That was my plan. That's what I did.
It depended on the subject, if I liked it or not.
What was your favorite subject?
I liked math.
Okay.
For some reason, I didn't do well in geometry, though. I don't know why. I did in the beginning, but then it got, I don't know. I just didn't do very good. Algebra, I did great. I aced that.
Yeah.
Geometry, I did well in the beginning, but eventually things didn't line up.
Probably my all-time favorite class, though, that I took in high school was jewelry class. We had
Jewelry class?
Yeah, we had jewelry. Okay, very nice.
Very nice.
How do you do a jewelry class? What was like beads or?
No, it was legit.
Really?
So you take wax and you make your ring out of wax.
Okay.
And then you put it in the machine. And Mr. Ellsworth was our teacher, and he wouldn't let anybody run the machine, but it basically spins it around and melts it and casts the silver to the form of your ring, and then you take it out, and then you have to kind of clean it and polish it and all that. But
Interesting.
it was a really cool class.
That had to be an extra.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
'Cause I took Shop 1, Shop 2, and I was a teacher's aide. So technically I had 3 years. I loved Shop. Anything I could get my hands into, like home economics,
Oh, yeah.
cooking, and all that stuff I learned in high school.
You'll make a nice wife someday.
Thank you. Yes.
Sorry, I
Oddly
couldn't
enough,
help
he doesn't
myself.
do much around here.
Hey.
Where's all those skills coming
Don't
into
give up
application?
my
I don't.
relaxation techniques.
I'm learning something about you.
I edit. That's what I do.
So my woods teacher was Mr. Dews.
Mr.
And
Dews.
Mr. Dews.
Mr. Dews.
And he
Doing
was
the Dews.
You can do it.
Vietnam vet.
Wow.
But he didn't look like that disgruntled Vietnam vet, but he was really cool, really down to earth, but all the kids would just mess with. They'd put sawdust in his coffee.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah,
Yes.
but he was really cool.
So shop class and math. Those are your favorites.
Yep, and jewelry.
And jewelry.
What other classes did I take? I did have one of my favorite algebra classes was Mr. Rollins. Maybe he was.
Ooh, was it Henry?
Fresh?
You know Henry Rollins? Ooh.
Nope, not that one.
That would have been awesome.
He was fresh out of college, and he would always tell us these crazy college stories about how they played security tag. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, I have.
So they would go out at night and run around and slap the security card and not.
Oh, that's not how we played. Okay.
Try not to get caught.
Okay. We played with police officers in, I won't say what state of Florida. Or what town in Florida. I won't say what state of Florida. Not gonna tell you what state. No matter what, I'm not telling you what state of Florida it was in.
You make a terrible torture victim.
They named me Scott. Anyway, we played with policemen and sheriffs. They would go in their cruisers, we would drive around in ours, we would hide. And we had Nextel. You remember back when the beep beep?
Yes.
Beep 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 beep? Well, I had every police officer in the town, because I owned a restaurant in the town, I had every police officer on the beep beep. And so they'd be on their radios and stuff, but we'd have those, and we'd go park the car somewhere and hide, and we would give them clues.
I don't
say,
I like how you do your beat.
The beep beep? we call, actually, you want to know what's funny?
Do with the thumb.
We call. Oh wow! I'm sorry, people. Every time I do that, I'm just making the camera screen crack.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's how you held it. Okay, I'll go this way. No, that's even worse. Okay, so I was like this, right? We called it the boopity boop, which is really silly. Grown men going around going boopity boopity, man. Hey, I thought you said you was gonna boopity boop me at 2. Sorry, man, I was eating lunch till 2:30. Couldn't do it.
I want to be a part of the boopity boop.
Boopity boop clan. Yeah, so anyway, that was one of the things we did, and we would talk on those things. Go hide, give clues, and they would try to find us because they knew the city like the back of their hand, obviously. They're police officers. And so we would hide in the craziest places. And sometimes we wouldn't get found for a while. It was fun.
This is
good training for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. In the meanwhile, sometimes they would get a call. And they would tell us over our boopity boops. Hey guys, sorry to boopity boop you. I know you're hiding, but we got a real call. And then we would wait until we knew they were on the real call, and we'd boopity boop them while they. Why do you call me a loser? We would boopity boop them while they were in the middle of like talking to people. They'd be over like leaning over license and registration. Please. Don't give it to him! Don't do it! He's not a real cop!
I assume this is a small town.
Oh yeah. I won't say the name or the state of Florida it was in. People know. The people know. Yeah, they know. They know who they are.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Late at night. Were you saved growing up, or did you get saved later?
So,
Throw it out there.
I didn't grow up in church.
Gotcha.
But for some reason, I always believed.
Mm-hmm.
I always knew that there was something there. And then I had a cousin that was, let's just say, a little Bible crazy.
Right.
In a good way and sometimes a bad way. So there was a little influence there. But at 10, my friend John, I think you guys met John. He's the one that led me to Christ.
Oh, wow.
In his living room.
That's
wow.
awesome.
That's awesome.
He told me how it happened because we had, even growing up, when he went to college with me down in Arizona, but we, as kids, just always walked around the neighborhood and talked and whatnot. And that's kind of how the conversation started.
Had he been to like a Good News Club, or had he grown up in church?
He had grown up in
I
church.
see. So
yeah.
it came up in topic a lot, probably when you guys talked. That's cool. That's really cool.
I wouldn't say that I actually started following Christ until I started having kids, and I wanted them to grow up in a church.
Yeah.
And then that's when I really started getting into it and trying to understand more of it and reading more of the Bible. And I had probably at that time, though, read Revelations 10 times.
Wow, what a book to
Matthew,
choose to
Mark,
read.
Luke, and John, numerous times. I always wanted to know.
There goes all my questions from Revelations and Matthew.
Revelations was always intriguing to me because it was the end times.
Of course, yeah.
As a kid growing up, I always prayed to be a part of something big. Yeah! And sometimes I regret that because we are into something big. But I thought growing up that things were so boring and normal, and we had already been through the World War I's and the Twos and that amazing generation, and Vietnam was over. I was a huge World War II and Vietnam War buff. I always watched those documentaries.
So you loved history.
Yeah, I just thought, the generation I was living in was rather boring.
Did you have any of the nuclear war drills in your school? So you're not that old. I know I'm dating myself
a 90s
real bad.
Kid, so.
Yeah, I'm dating myself. But
I
thought you said you did.
No, we had tornado drills.
Tornado drills.
It was always tornado drills
I didn't have that.
and fire drills. Fire drills and tornado drills, which just stank because every time they did a fire drill, it was always cold or raining. Every time. Every time. I would have rather done a tornado drill because then you just sit in the hallway and duck your head between the legs and kiss your butt goodbye.
I guess you're right, but you're doing what the drills we did, and I'm talking the school I brought you to, Allenstown Elementary School.
You had to get under your desk, right?
No, you go in the hallway and you tuck your head between your legs and kiss your butt goodbye.
That's tornado drills here.
That's all you do.
I mean, we're in the Midwest, so.
Yeah, but they tell you ahead of time that, if it's real, you're dead. Nothing's gonna save you, but they said, but you have to sit like this in the hallway and be completely quiet. No. No. If it's real, run and scream and yell.
What they don't tell you is all the teachers are abandoning all the kids there so they can run
That's
on
why
the
they
building.
do it.
Yes.
They tell you,
making
okay,
the
kids, put your head between your legs, okay? Count to 3. No words. I don't want to hear anything.
Thinking.
Yep.
That's great.
You hear the Looney Tunes out.
I couldn't imagine going to school at that time when they actually did nuclear drills.
Right.
Oh, it was rough,
Yeah.
man. I walked to school uphill, both ways. Oh, yeah. Barefoot in the snow,
No shoes, no coat.
wearing a garbage bag as a coat.
Yeah.
Just in time for the nuclear drill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hide under my desk and pretend like it was gonna matter.
that's right.
Hey, nuclear drills matter.
Nuclear drills do matter.
Just saying.
We
No,
digress.
We digress.
Back to Brendon.
I had a pastor growing up in church because I grew up in the Baptist church. So I was one of those kids that, I accepted Christ when I was 5, and then again when I was 8, and then again when I was 10,
Oh,
and then
right.
again when I
Yep,
was
yep,
12. Because
yep.
it's like, well, I don't know if I'm saved. I don't know if I'm quite saved. But anyway, our pastor used to say, I believe Jesus Christ is going to come back in my lifetime. And I heard that preached from the pulpit from a very young age because we had Sunday school before church, so all the kids sat through the sermons. And I think I probably was only 8 or 9 when he said that. And it really stuck. This pastor could be a grandpa believes Jesus is going to come in his lifetime. So to this day, he's still alive. And we are closer than ever. And I keep saying, wonder if Pastor Showers is still going to be around. Who knows? It
Right.
literally still is up there as that planted thought of we're so close. And as we watch what's unfolding in the world, we cannot help but wonder how much longer God will tarry.
Yeah.
It's true.
I love the idea of Christ coming back, but the only thing that worries me when it's preached is a false hope.
Yeah.
One thing that always kind of stopped me a lot in life was, well, if Christ is coming back, I don't need to do this or that. I just need to live until that time. It worries me that if we preach that too much to the younger generation, they're not going to want to do anything with their life.
Well, I was one of those kids that was taught that, and what it did, I guess you're right about the false hope, but at the same time, it kind of ruins you as an adult because you're like, but my parents said this was happening. And then I have parents that have passed away. I have grandparents that have said that they were going to see. I remember my grandmother Mitchell talking to me about how Jesus was coming back, and she knew it. And I was just like, I believe. Of course, I still believe that, but I believed in her life when she passed, it was devastating to me because I thought Jesus was going to come back. Before it does, I think it sends the wrong message. And it also, Jesus says, don't do that because for the sake of the elect, we want more people to come to Christ.
Yes.
It says every single person in this life who was created, their name's written in the book of life. They have to be blotted out. And so it's our job to go around and find them, collect them. Yeah, like Charlie Kirk said, crowd heaven.
Yes, I want to get one of those shirts.
Yeah, I was talking to her recently about that statement because God's in control of everything. So he obviously allowed Charlie's life to be taken. But when the enemy is allowed to take the life of a man whose main message is to crowd heaven, it's time to get serious. Like, real serious. Yes. Something big is happening.
Yeah, if Christians didn't see the persecution before,
that's right,
they ought to now.
Yes. Well, and we're hearing about it in countries like in Africa.
Absolutely.
Right now there's this huge Christian
20,000,
persecution.
I think, Christians were killed.
Yeah, and aside from that, we've known about persecution for centuries. This is not a new concept.
Definitely not new.
There's denial. I mean, there's some out there that want to say, "Oh, the Holocaust never happened," or people have never been persecuted for their faith. It was all politics, or it was all evil people that were just trying to be dictators. And I think, quite honestly, that's Satan's plan. If he can deceive people to make them think, "Oh no, the Christians weren't persecuted for their faith. It was for these other reasons over here," then we almost have this false sense of security. And we do live in a country that's so privileged, I think, that we often take for granted, and we fall back on that security, and we say, well, I don't need to worry about that. That's for those countries over there that are we need to pray for our missionaries. They're over in these lands. They're the ones. But look at how we're targeted in our own country now by the left. If you look at all the idealism of the left targeting anybody who holds to the morals of the sanctity of life, for example, you're automatically hated if you say life is precious because it's God-breathed, it's God-ordained, we have the right to life, and they're like, no, it's just a clump of cells. That's the deceiver. And the same thing holds true with saying you're a different gender. No, God created 2 genders, not 52. It's 2. And that is literally the pattern of life. If you want to go live your pattern where you have polyamorous whatever type of stuff, you're going to go extinct. It's just scientifically there.
You will die out.
Yes.
Your belief system will die out. It can't last. Just like communism and socialism and all these things, isms that they've tried throughout the years, and they don't work. What works is being a republic. But like Benjamin Franklin said, if we can keep it.
Right.
Well, and you said that you kind of grew into your faith as you became a dad. So what do you do in your home to kind of instill those values into your children to assure them that this is the right path to follow, don't stray? What kind of ideals do you hold at home?
We have the conversations when we do Awana every Wednesday, so we help them with that. And then really, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but whenever political things come up is when it's really expressed, because me and Ariel will talk about the things they're trying to spread about the genders and things like that, and that gives us a way to talk to them and get them to recognize that there's 2 separate worlds out there, and there's people that actually believe that they can be whatever they want, and they can do whatever they want, and that they can kill babies, and it's a great thing, and they celebrate it.
That they can kill people that disagree with the way they think and celebrate it. The horrifying things I've seen written about Charlie Kirk while his wife is in the middle of grieving his loss. I can't fathom what kind of person it takes to say such things.
We were out of town for a Taekwondo thing when she did her speech.
The initial speech before the funeral?
Yes.
Yeah.
And my 2 oldest girls were just sitting there bawling their eyes out.
Me too.
Us with them. Yeah. We're like, man.
Yeah, we had both already had the discussion of how amazing it would be for her to get up there and do exactly what she did.
The day that she gave that speech. The day she gave that
difficult.
speech. Well, we were just saying, I think the funeral was 10 days after that initial speech.
Yeah. And we had just said how amazing would it be for her to get up in front of the whole country and forgive it.
And then she did it.
And she did it. I was bawling. I was like jumping up and down at the back door when she's doing it. Oh my gosh, she's doing it.
What a Christ-like thing to do.
Yes, absolutely. That is an absolute example of Christ living in and through you when she could have chosen to be full of so much else.
Yes, and it's so easily done to be full of hate.
Yes, it is.
You know, we all get trapped in that all the time because we are attacked constantly.
Oh, especially on social media.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, big time.
Oh, my word.
And it's so deceptive because to hate gives you a temporary sense of power. It's like if you just said that, I just bit their head off, and then they come back at you like, oh, really? All right, well, it's on now, buddy. You start rolling up the sleeves, and before you know it, you're sucked down this big tunnel of what have you just done with the last hour but defend yourself against
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I
an
hate
idiot
that.
throwing pearls to swine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they don't listen. They don't even care.
They don't.
I love it, though, when they come out right from the beginning and they say, nothing you say will convince me otherwise. And when they say that phrase, I feel like at least they're owning the fact that they're not even willing to debate. They're owning their own closed-mindedness.
Yes.
And at that point, it is casting pearls to swine. And so I just say,
Absolutely.
okay, I'm done here. I'm not engaging.
So I think one thing as Christians we need to do is be extremely confident in the authority of God.
100%.
You know, because it's really just two worldviews, and it's creation and evolution. Why is there a world history that is not being taught in schools? It doesn't matter if it's a Christian or, you know, a public school that doesn't teach religious things. There is an entire worldview that
100%.
creation happened.
Yes. Yes.
And they're only teaching the one side. Why are we not letting kids decide if they believe that everything was created, that it was designed clearly, because the ecosystem is such an amazing design. These animals that we have are clearly designed. Why is that not being taught as well? It should mean that you're not going to get kicked out of school because you prayed or
Correct.
brought your Bible.
I believe
like
that
they
that's
were
what it
doing.
was.
Going back to the principle of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, yeah.
If we are going to recite it together as countrymen in this country, one nation under God.
That's right.
Right there. Why are we not going right back to that? If we can say the Pledge of Allegiance, then we can acknowledge we have a creator.
Facts.
It goes hand in hand
Right.
with what you're saying.
Right.
And I do remember going into school in this every science class I took, environmental science, world science, whatever. It was
Earth and
always,
space,
here's how it was. Here's Darwin's theory. And it was always posed as theory, the
Yes.
evolution theory. And then there's another school of thought, but you know, you can investigate that yourself. No. Let's talk about what the other school of thought is. If we're going to give merit to a theory, then can we give merit to a documented, historical, has survived the ages of time document in the Bible?
Sophomore or junior year, Mr. Culp at Concord, he couldn't teach on creation, but he said, I have to teach you this evolution stuff, but I don't believe it. You know, and
Mr. Hall did
was
that, my science
big
teacher.
for him to say that.
Yeah.
You know, if some kid complained nowadays, he wouldn't be a teacher anymore.
Right. Right.
Mr. Hall was in Dunedin High School in Florida, and he said, I want you to go home tonight and I want you to read Genesis, the whole creation, and I also want you to read your science book, the pages, whatever it was. And I thought that was the most amazing thing ever. I'd never had a teacher say, go do that, and I was like, are you allowed to? He said, I don't care if I am or not. I am not going to give my students one perspective when I don't agree with one of them. But he wouldn't say which one of them. I mean, obviously he wouldn't teach the other one. But yeah, he was a great man. He said you could call him anytime, day or night, to ask him a question if you were serious. And when you called him, if you got his answering message, it said, leave your number, leave your kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species at the top. It was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That was the first time I ever...
Total science teacher stuff right there.
This is Mr. Hall. I'm not here right now, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But until then, it was great.
Somebody was trying to tell me that the Constitution wasn't based on Christian principles, and I typed that into AI to see what it said. And it just, everything that it sourced was all atheist websites.
Absolutely.
wow.
Like, well, of course,
of
AI's
course.
given me this answer. The sources are all atheist websites.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a tool of the enemy to deceive more people.
Yeah.
The prince of the power of the airwaves. I say it all the time. He's called the prince of the power of the air, but it makes so much sense. And I've always thought of it that way because when I was a kid, I was always in love with radio. And I was always like, wow, the DJs were just, whoop man, jack, out, baby. You know, I was obsessed with radio from the time I was a little kid. And so I saw how influential radio was. And my parents, of course, were like, you can't listen to WGIR Manchester. Because it's like the evilest music in the world. It was like regular classic rock, you know. And so I learned that they thought that music and radio could influence me. So I thought, wow, how influential the enemy would be if he could get a hold of the airwaves and TV. And this is exactly what we've seen.
Yes.
He's got full control of
And the
Hollywood. He's got the
internet
airwaves. He's got, and now we've got AI and we've got internet. And it's crazy. And I told her that from the start. It's the prince of the power of the airwaves.
And you know, I see the internet and all of these things as absolutely satanic things, but God has used them for good.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Because of the information and all the lies that we have found, it is absolutely being used for good as well. So it's a balancing act.
God's people, that whole scripture about we can pick up the snakes. I don't believe it's talking about snakes. I believe it's literally talking about we're going to be in an age and in a time where we can't help but having to do the things that other people do. But don't worry, we won't get bit. The poison won't affect us. As long as what our heart is to do is to glorify God in the things that we do.
And in that we armor up. Because we know
Absolutely.
that we battle not against flesh, and we battle against,
You armor up
yes, the spirituality.
every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a time that you can think of in your life that if you were to compare the state we live in to what you would call like the perfect time in your life? Can you think of like, man, that was the ideal time. I wish I could go back to that age or back to that time. Even maybe before you were born, if you have something idealistically that a time frame you would live in.
Growing up, I always wished I lived in like the 50s.
That was me.
Oh, really?
I totally wished that. The Leave It to Beaver era.
Well, really the 40s and 50s, the whole World War II era.
Wow.
Because everything seemed so much more simple. Society seemed like it was much better. People had respect for each other.
What is your personal conclusion as to why things aren't like that now?
Media. Think about it.
Influence. Yep.
In the 90s, growing up, high five. Think about the things they said in cartoons and on TV. It is nothing compared to what they say now.
Right. That's a fact.
PG-13 was actually PG-13.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It wasn't
I think you should ask Mr. Hank.
Rated
on
R.
the borderline of rated R. You know?
Yeah.
And then rated R is like on the borderline of
higher.
pornography.
Exactly. And they get away with a lot more.
Oh yeah. They used to not allow
Ever.
almost anything. It was all bleeped out. It was not acceptable. I think back to even, I think it was early 2000s when the Janet Jackson Timberlake
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
the wardrobe malfunction
That was-
happened.
Wardrobe
That was
malfunction.
huge.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was talked about
Was it
as
huge? I didn't
so
see it.
big. Well, and see, that's my point now is that I don't even know they would blur it now. We've come so far that I
Right.
think they would just air it out. Like we
Wait a
heard
minute.
Trump.
Oopsie-daisy.
We heard Trump drop
they
the
blurred it?
F-bomb. Yeah, they blurred
It was
it.
all over the news.
It was all over the news. Oh dear.
Back in those days, we still had some newspapers left too.
Right. That's true.
Those have been done away with. Newspapers, magazines, those things are just kind of a thing of the past.
I can tell you as a testimonial thing, one thing that really not necessarily ruined my life, but steered me in terrible directions and terrible habits were these high school party movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Raunchy movies. And
That were all about sex and drinking.
Our uncle was into those.
Yep.
No fault, because every, I guess, uncle, you have a story about all these uncles. I mean, he was a young man, so the young men were into that, his age. And so these high school movies and these college movies like Caddyshack, all those style that went into Cannonball. And then Cannonball went into even more, like, raunchier, and it just got worse. And it was all Saturday Night Live, I think, is how it all started. Those actors rolled off into movies, and the movies got raunchier and raunchier and raunchier, down to American Pie, but it was really raunchy.
But you know, it's been a buildup of things like that that have just turned us into immoral people.
Absolutely.
They've numbed us.
You know, we've had desensitized.
Yes.
100%.
When I look at horror movies now, I'm like, man, why in the world did I ever watch any of these?
Right.
Yeah.
My children have come home from school and said, "Mom, my classmate's seen all the Scream movies. What's that about?" And I'm like, "Hold up. How
I
old
would
is this
never let my
classmate?
kid watch
We're
any of
talking
those.
5th grade and under."
Oh, yeah.
And this kid is in the 4th or 5th grade and has
Probably
seen
with-
all the Scream movies.
Probably with
no.
older brothers or sisters or something.
And I was into horror movies as a kid, too.
I was too.
And
I loved being scared.
My wife was too. They used to love them, and it's just like, you think about it now, you're like, no way.
You hear me?
Well, and they will ask me, they'll say, Mom, how come I can't watch the movie? And I'm like, you don't need to, first of all. It's just an adrenaline rush. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's people who like
That's
to
exactly
be
what
scared.
it
And then there's my daughter who's so super sensitive that if I'm watching Finding Nemo and a scary sounding theme comes on, she runs away. She doesn't
gets
even
so
want to see the
upset.
screen because
Yep.
she's like, no, this is scary. La 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 la. I don't want to hear. Shut up!
You know when it got really bad for me in the 90s? I'm going to bring up a name that I hope you've never heard of, but it was a movie series called Faces of Death. I'm so glad you've never heard of that. It makes me happy. What it was you know how when newscasters are filming a certain situation and then that situation goes bad? Like really bad.
I didn't like it.
What do they do with the footage? It used to be you couldn't show it on TV.
Oh, yeah.
So it used to be you couldn't show things like planes hitting the World Trade Center.
Right.
You couldn't
Right,
show that.
right.
So they would take that footage and stockpile it. This movie company called Faces of Death came out, collected all the footage and made a movie about it. Every kid went bananas. You gotta see Faces of Death. It was the most absolute. I think it was the very first time I ever understood what it was to get PTSD over what you've just seen. Because
Yes.
you're realizing you're not watching a horror movie.
Right.
You're
This isn't
watching
acting,
something
This is literally happening.
that really happened.
Yeah.
There was people in that audience, hundreds of people that literally watched that happen, and they'll never be the same. And I'm not gonna ever be the same knowing that happened, and I just watched somebody watch happen.
And here's the thing about that: it never leaves your mind.
No, it doesn't.
When you rethink about that,
Yeah,
all that comes right back.
I still see it vividly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had a friend when I was in college in Arizona. We had a friend from high school that was going to ASU, and I was going to an art school, Collins College, and we went to his apartment one day. And this freaks me out because I wonder what he's doing now, and I wonder how many people are like this. He would sit there on his patio and watch video after video after video of people getting killed like that.
Oh gosh!
Just constantly.
Like actual.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because
No.
you know the remember the E-Bombs World and all those websites like that that had silly videos, but they also had these death videos.
Yeah, no, I didn't remember.
And
Like I said, it was
I
Faces
will
of
never
Death for me.
forget the ones that I watched with him, and I was like, all right, I gotta.
Yeah,
I
it'll
can't
kill you.
do
It
this.
kills you inside.
Yeah.
Something dies inside when
Yes.
you witness something that you know wasn't just a theater act.
And you got to think too. You know, look at our soldiers. You
Absolutely.
go to war, and you are put in a situation where you are desensitized to murder because
Right.
you're killing the enemy.
Yeah.
Right,
You know,
right.
they're just watching this stuff and being desensitized to it, and then that just reminds me of the modern left today, where they're celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk
Oh, yeah.
and people like
And
that.
other people. Yeah.
Yes.
Or I'm calling for the death of Trump, trying to
Yes.
assassinate him, and openly saying that they read or they wake up every morning waiting for the headline that Trump
Yeah.
has been killed.
To me, that
talks like
reminds
that?
me of the people that sit there and
Absolutely.
watch these death videos.
Absolutely.
You know?
Hey, people, we don't hope you die.
No.
Absolutely not.
See,
No.
that's what gets me. Is we've talked about that. People say that stuff, and I've looked at her and said, "Now, reading that, do you feel like you want that person to die?" And then the answer is never. Yes. There's not an offense that makes me want to feel. So who's the evil? Who's the evil ones? When they're pointing at us, going, "Ooh, dictators and fascists and Nazis and." Okay, yeah, but we're the ones that are like, we wouldn't kill you, but you want us dead.
That's a fact.
Right. Right.
That's just
None of it makes
common sense.
Well, we've lacked common sense for so long, which is why we all
Fact.
mutually were excited about Trump winning, because we felt like
Yes.
he was bringing common sense back to America. We suffered under Biden for 4 years. Every day it was just another bad news. He's falling upstairs. He's stumbling over his words. We don't even know if he's signing things.
And we got tired. I got so tired of hearing Jean-Claude Van Damme get up and talk.
Cringe. Karen Jean Pierre.
There, Jean-Claude Van. I couldn't stand her. She got up there and would speak, and
As a lesbian black
Oh, yeah.
woman,
Goodness.
that was
Okay,
always
right.
her answer every time.
ooh, I got a question.
Yes, you, right there in the front row.
So when do you think the price of eggs will come down, ma'am?
I can tell you, as a proud black gay person, the price of eggs will come down when equality has been given its equal dues in society. And our president is working very hard right now to make sure that your inequality is brought to justice.
What if they're brown eggs?
I too am a proud brown gay woman.
She does a great Kamala Harris too. She doesn't get the voice, but
No,
she
I
gets.
can't do the
She
voice.
totally gets the inflection
It's more about the nod.
and the nod and the talking.
And if you have to say that inequality is equal to nothing else, what else are we equal to?
Shut up!
Just the ring.
Yeah, right in a circle.
Yes.
Okay, I'll leave now. My brain hurts.
It's a fact. They called it word salad.
Yeah, she wins the award for
Word salad.
saying the most words without any
Saying
meaning.
anything.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I also have to say, along the line of the degradation, I heard Matt Walsh say this, so props to him, because I thought it was one of the most absolutely profound things right now to stop and think about where we've come. When you think about the left, especially with the Mamdani voters, which don't even get me started, right? But he made the point that when the women's lib movement started being so strong, women started basically rejecting men. They're like, we don't need a man to take care of me. I can take care of myself.
Round the world and back snap.
That whole attitude came in, right? Where they're rejecting the male kind of leadership, partnership role. And instead, now they're finding that to fill that hole, we need the government. We need SNAP benefits. We need WIC. We need
That's
government
facts.
assistance to fill that
It's
hole
their sugar daddy.
that I've left. I have a
That's what
government
it is?
sugar daddy, and I thought, you know what, that makes so much sense, and that's why they're so mad, because they see conservative women with like the Erica Kirks of the world saying, wives, submit to your husbands, be a good person. Women or men, love your wives, be a good person.
Every message they said
But
was
they don't.
beautiful and perfect. It's
They
what
don't
God
like
wants.
that. The enemy doesn't like that. And going back to the 50s, I think the thing that was so beautiful about that time frame of the 40s and 50s was the nuclear family. That's what I hold to, that precious nuclear family. And it seems like once Margaret Sanger got her little feet in the door and started Planned Parenthood and started basically the hidden concept of let's get rid of the black people, we'll use birth control and depopulate them. That was her whole thought process. And then it moved into the women's lib movement. We don't need a man. We're not going to have a family. We can be independent. We can have sex as much as we want, not get pregnant. And then that goes into we don't need a man at all. And then we'll have 8 babies by 8 different men and have all kinds of government benefits coming to us for the rest of our life. It just feeds.
Wow.
One thing that I loved about the 40s and 50s too, or I wish could come back, is the black population. Think about Martin Luther King days.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Music and media and the government ruined our black Americans.
Amen.
And it pisses me off.
Wow. I will agree with that. I've never
agree
heard
too.
it said quite like that. That's,
And
there's no way around it. It's
now
true.
they go back, so many of the left go back on the opinion that, well, you white people owe me reparations.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah, 'cause
took
we're
my
white.
heritage from me because you made my ancestors slaves. So now you owe me money because you descendants of those nasty slave owners, you need to make reparations with me. And yet they're the ones that are the NBA stars, the rappers, the big CEOs.
They've
They're going
been
to
sold into
They've been
destroying
sold into
themselves.
destroying
Yeah.
themselves. They're buying all the wealth that they can. And look at P. Diddy. He ruined himself with wealth.
And getting rid of the men in their house so they can
Yep.
get the benefit.
Yep, exactly. I totally agree.
So what's funny about these women that, I don't need a man and all that, this happens to me and my wife all the time. So we have women on her side of the family that are strong women that don't need a man. Guess who they call when they need something done?
They call Brendon.
Hey, man, Brendon. Hey, don't you
We had a coach
know
that
stuff
was like
about
that, too.
construction, Brendon?
We had a coach that was like that too. That was very, strong-willed, and she was a very strong woman. I'll give her that. But the I don't need a man, but she's calling Ariel. Hey, can your husband do this for me? Hey, can your husband do that? I don't know how to do this or that.
It's about a relationship, right?
Bet you wish you had a man now, right, Margaret?
Hey!
Snap.
Two snaps up
Oh, snap.
in a circle.
Benefits.